This is Deceit SMP, a multiplayer survival series where everybody has 2 lives. If you die once, you get assigned a random role, which is either Crafter, there are 5 of them and they have to survive together. Traitor, there's 2 of those, and they have to kill everybody by working together. And then there's a Killer, 1 rogue operative who has to murder everyone and survive solo. After the very first session of Deceit, I mysteriously died in between recording sessions trying to prepare for later stages of the game. And so far I haven't showed you what happened, but today is the day where you see what actually went down. As today, I'm going to tell you my strategy for Deceit. You guys knew I took fall damage, but here is what happened. Ow! Ooh, that's rough. I am not entirely sure whether I just fell in between vines or glitched through them altogether because of server latency. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I hit the floor hard. I lost all my items because I couldn't get back in time. I had to regrind a lot, but the regrinding wasn't actually the worst part. At this point in time, I only had 1 life left and I learned my role. Now it is up to you guys, just like everybody else on the server, to figure out what that was. But one thing was for certain. At this moment, I didn't know who my allies were anymore. I didn't know who to trust, and people didn't know if they could trust me either. So things got really weird. Even though I died, I did have one major advantage, because the moment where I hit the floor was after I finished setting up the Enderman farm. We can't go to the end because there's no strongholds on the server, but I have an Enderman farm hidden away on top of the nether roof. And this is going to be very vital for how the rest of the Deceit goes. Let's rewind a little bit and see how this Enderman farm came about. Right after the very first session we played on Deceit, I knew that I had to take care of myself first, because we can make all the alliances we want, but there is no guarantee that Lagundo and I, or Tanisha and I, or all 3 of us are on the same team. Back then, I had only been hanging out with Lagundo, and things were going great. We had an awesome base setup together, and everything felt really good. But I knew that there was a realistic chance we would be on different teams later. So I decided to go loony first. I decided that I was going to set up something that I would tell nobody about. Something that would be my advantage over everybody else, regardless of what team we were on. So I made my way into the nether and started looking for a place to get on top of the nether roof. And the most important part here was I wanted to leave no trace at all. So I was very careful in cleaning up behind me and trying to use ender pearls for most of the travel. Ender pearls at this point in the server were very valuable, but I knew that very soon I would have an Enderman farm set up, and that would put me way ahead of everybody else. So once I found my way into the ceiling of the nether, I looked for a block on Y127, built ladders all the way up there, and ender pearled my way through to the nether roof, where I was all set to use this warped forest to my fullest advantage. One thing did go wrong though. I tried to make my way back down, and I had been paying poor attention to which block I was about to blow up. So as I tried to glitch my way back through the bedrock down below, I ran out of TNT. And that was a little bit of a pickle, so I had to build a nether portal, go back to the overworld, again, leave no trace. So I took the portal down right away, started looking for gunpowder, and eventually I made my way back to the nether roof to try again. This time, I got the right block, and I could see the ladders down there. So it was time to start building the actual farm. The construction process for the farm actually went super smooth. I got up there easy. I made a landing pad of 20 by 20 twisted vines because I wanted to make sure that this wasn't going to be my first death. We all knew how that ended, but we're not quite there yet. I got the materials, I built the framework, I went back down to kill a bunch of endermans using boats to get the pearls for the endermite, and that took forever because I think I used about 60 pearls. I had to use so many ender pearls for this that at some point I started wondering whether endermites couldn't spawn in on the server somehow. I ran out of food multiple times, and if you guys were wondering what the whole mushy mushroom stew addiction thing was about last episode? Well, I made a little reference to me hanging out on top of the nether roof because the only thing you can find here is mushrooms, but there's loads of them. So I ate mushroom stew for about a week on the server and nothing else. Until finally, I managed to get that endermite and the farm was all good to go. Now there were only two problems left. The one was, where was my AFK spot on this? The other one is, to what degree can I spawn proof? And I realized that spawn proofing was going to be an issue because I didn't want to leave any trace, and that meant that I couldn't really mess with the spawnable blocks below. Everything under the roof that was spawnable for endermen and within my player range, that was a problem. That meant that the enderman farm couldn't be my experience source, and it was a little bit of a setback. But it was still very much worth it because what the Enderman farm did get me was all the ender pearls I could ever need for combat situations. So I decided that I was just going to move around the server from this point forward with a couple stacks of ender pearls in my inventory. If I then ever get into somebody trying to murder me, whatever fight, anything scary, I can just pearl around as much as I want. And how do you kill a man that has several stacks of ender pearls and just teleports all over the place? I figured that would be pretty hard. So it would put me in a really safe spot compared to other players. And that is where I hit the floor. Now that changed everything. Up to this point, my Enderman farm was me looking way into the future, thinking about late stages of Deceit and having a strategy ready regardless of what team I was on. But then, all of a sudden, I was on my last life. And I took another setback. I couldn't make it back in time to the Enderman farm because it was in a pretty remote location and I didn't really have the resource I needed to travel there quickly. So by the time I got back, my gear had despawned. I had 0 levels and no gear to work with. That meant I had to regrind a significant amount of work. So I got back to level 30 using netherrack mining strats, which honestly work alright. Then I got some decent-ish enchanted iron gear and I had to make a new plan. And I figured that the most important thing right now is I needed a lot of information because I could not risk getting killed even once anymore. I had no margin for error. Deceit was all but over for me and we were only just getting started. I couldn't die even once now. This is hardcore. This is what I'm made for, but I am not the only one in this game. I'm not in control of what happens. I'm completely dependent on what other people do. So I had to know everything. The man that decided to build an Enderman farm on the roof after the very first session we played together was not ready to take a risk to be out of the game. So once I got my gear sort of back, I went on a mission. I had to find out exactly what Chaos Crew was up to. So I started scouting for their base. And I knew that it was probably close to where the village originally was. That moment where they mined the block under me and I almost got wrecked by an iron golem. In episode 1, I had to go back to that place, retrace my steps, and look for any trace that they might have left as to where their base location is. I gotta keep my eyes open in this area just to make sure there's nothing off here. Because if I do find something, that might be key to getting a proper edge in the situation. Oh, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Oh my goodness. I gotta realize if I fall to my death here, that's it. That's GG. So, how are we going to make sure that doesn't happen? Be smart about it. I heard the creeper behind me, but I thought if I moved quick, it should be fine. And it is. This cave system is worth exploring. I think if these guys are here, they're probably way down close to bedrock level. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow their torch tunnels. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just ran straight into their base. No way. No way. The villagers are right here. A little farm here. So I'm not going to touch anything. I'm not going to mess with their stuff. But I am going to investigate. Got Eyes of Ender. I got to realize that if there's any part of this that is trapped, it's going to be here. Soul Speed Book. Sweeping Edge. The Caveman. They're farming lava buckets. Fair enough. What's this? Nothing. This. Axolotl exhibit. Wait. Oh, they don't even have their full enchanting setup? Holy cow. What's this? There's something fishy here. You know what? I'm gonna... Why is it so easy to find this place? Now I gotta make my way out and not leave any trace that I know this is where they live. As good as it's gonna be. I don't think they're gonna notice. Did I leave everything? Yes. So far, what these guys have over us is access to emeralds. That's the main thing. They don't have any ridiculous trades yet. I do expect that they'll get them. I don't think they're going to be satisfied with what they have right now. But their base is not well hidden at all. That surprises me so much. Oh my goodness. This is the most valuable 15 minutes on the server right now. I think we've overestimated them quite a bit. At least as to the amount of work that I put in. So now the question is, how do I go about that? Do I share that information? I'm gonna have to send Lagundo and Anisha pictures of what they have, but I don't want to be the new Chaos crew. I don't want to be the overestimated party. I want to be in a position where people think that we're no match. That's where we need to be. I think it's time to head back home. After finding Chaos Crew's base, I realized that I wasn't as far behind as I thought I was. I may even be a little bit ahead of everybody in terms of strategy, because I am on my last life now, but I do have an Enderman farm. And mind you guys, this is all a flashback. So this all happened before Campfire Crew came about. After Campfire Crew's formation, we are now collectively in a better spot. And nobody really knows that. Everybody's pretty worried about Chaos Crew, but they do have one thing going for them. And that is that they do have villagers, they need to organize a little bit more, and they do have their diamond stuff. So it was time to make sure that we caught up on terms of gear as well. And I got my Fortune 3 pickaxe and started getting diamonds for all of Campfire Crew. So that me, Lagundo, and Sanisha were all ready and less vulnerable in case Chaos Crew decided to go absolutely crazy. But once I had taken care of the team, it was time to take care of me. I now had diamonds for me, Lagundo, Tanisha, and we were all set. But I had to make sure that if something crazy happened, I had a place to go, because I am not entirely sure whether I can trust my allies. They may very well have a different role and be ready to kill me. So I needed a place to lay low in case a storm hit. And I found one way at the very edge of the map. I found a place that I think is so hard to find that I'm gonna be safe here till the very end of the seed if I need to. And I was extremely careful here. Once I cleared out the room and made room for the base, I needed some resources. So I went out, got some dirt, got some wood. And this little island here looked entirely different by the time I left. But I made sure that everything looked like it was generated terrain. Even though this was an island with trees and dirt, it was a sandy, flat island by the time I left that could have easily generated as is. I had never connected the Enderman farm to a nether portal in the overworld because I didn't want anybody to have a chance to accidentally end up right there on top of the nether roof. But now that I had my underground base, which was so far away from everything else, I decided to link up a portal and make sure it went to the roof. But as you guys know, the portals have been a little bit unreliable. So I made sure to take all the safety precautions I could imagine at all. I built my nether portal in the overworld on top of 6 layers of dirt so I could easily mine out. And then I built a huge tower on top of the nether roof to make sure that if I got stuck in netherrack, not bedrock. Once my connection between the overworld base and the Enderman farm was set up, I decided to get ready for actual use of the farm. So I had to make sure that the Enderman couldn't teleport. That meant a lot of lava on the bedrock and then a parkour to get up on the Enderman farm. And while I was building that, Mongo hopped online. So we had a little chat. We spent some time, we talked about Chaos Crew and all that. And then we decided to meet up because Mongo had something to show me. Oh, I found a new portal strat. So
for what?
I've been...
Safety?
Yes. The thing I've been doing, this is going to blow your mind because it's so dumb. The thing I've been doing for extra safety is I've been spamming jump when I'm in a portal.
Oh my gosh.
And it seems to help. It puts me a couple of blocks less far down, and sometimes actually I'm in the portal now, which hasn't happened before.
Yeah, there's one that I've been to that is a village, and then it's pretty much on the water. And then across the water is the savannah.
That was the first one for me. Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so the other one.
So that one's still there, but all the villagers are gone?
Yeah.
Somebody, I think that they were just murdered.
Chaos Crew.
Yes, but...
Living up to it.
The other... this is why they're Chaos Crew. Because the other village, that's where they were doing their things. And that's where I almost got killed by them with their Iron Golem shenanigans. But the thing that happened there is I went back to check for the village, and the only thing I found were paths. They left the paths,
Oh,
and
okay.
the entire rest of the village, 100% of it was.
Oh my gosh. That doesn't even make it, like, I don't even see why. I didn't see why anyone would do that.
Chaos crew.
Yeah. Huh?
Huh? Okay,
Here,
okay,
you want
okay,
some,
okay.
you want some, yeah, I realized that I do that on accident without even thinking about it, because in hardcore, you just leave the sword up the whole time. And then I'm running at people with the sword out.
He's got Azalea? Now,
Yeah, I don't know where you got
now
that.
I'm jealous. That's Wandering Trader, I think.
I thought you
Or-
have,
no.
I thought you have moss.
Maybe Paz had that one shipwreck. There's one shipwreck
You
that
don't-
has been looted.
Oh, I looted it. There was no moss in there.
I think that's the only one on the server.
It did look like it got looted already, though. But, like, somebody didn't... It was one of the ones that's, like, actually in the ground instead of in the water.
Yeah, the buried one.
Yeah, so I think, maybe he took the front chest and got the moss, but the other two were not looted. Yeah, it looks good. It didn't look good with Iron Pants. Check this out, though.
I
This is
can't
prop
believe
4.
that you have this guy out in the open. What if Chaos Crew got walked past?
They'd, I don't know.
Actually,
They wouldn't care.
what if I take my sword now and slash this villager? What will happen?
You know, I thought about it. I trust you enough.
It would be so easy because that's a huge advantage you got right there.
It is, but it only sets me to where you are right now. It doesn't put me ahead, because that's prot 4.
Yeah, that's nuts. Like I've been struggling. I don't have.
I
Prot 4
can't
right
believe
now.
that you don't have prot 4?
No.
What do you have? You don't have it on anything?
I got one.
Well, let's get it right now. If you donate a couple of books, I'll be okay with mending.
Let's do mending. But
Okay.
we gotta lock him in now. Do you have one book?
I can make one. Hold up.
Mending on one emerald.
Look what I got.
Wait, did you look
Look
at
at
it?
this.
Did you look at it? It's a beautiful. Wait, what? No, not the boat. Oh
Oh, yes!
no!
I got it!
Give
I'll
me-
see ya.
No! I'm fish smacking your boat.
No!
We don't even know if we're on the same team. How confusing is that? Because there's a very good
I
chance
say
that
we are. I think we are for now. You know.
I just see that burning arrow there. That's not good.
Here, I'll get hit by it. I don't know about Tanisha either. Being there when she died and got her role,
So what's that?
what?
What was the? Did you get any sort of reaction out of it?
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, it was a little weird. She sarcastically claims she got killer, but it was almost like too, I don't know. It felt like fake sarcasm, you know? You can kind of read that. Like that's like everybody's, like, you've played Among Us. That's like everybody's imposter strat.
I haven't.
Yeah,
I
I'm the
haven't.
imposter.
I haven't played Among Us.
Ah.
Like I know
That's
how
like
it
a-
works, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, so that's like a common imposter strat. Oh yeah, I'm the imposter, you know?
That's scary to me right now. Just like
My plan is, if I lose my first life, I will not be telling anybody anything from that point forward. Nothing about my stuff or where I'm going to be.
oh, I got one of the flowering azaleas. I'm also very happy with the moss stuff. But like the
That one you just gotta thank Pez, but
Oh, but I'm not sure whether he was gonna give me. Well, you say he's the nicest guy.
well,
there
he's
is.
got a stack and a half. I think oh, yeah, he's got a stack and a half of it.
Baz is
I
also
think it'll be
just
all right.
he's that farming setup you guys got.
Yeah, he's stacked. He wastes no time.
But he just started building a whole base.
Yeah,
And like everything is out in the open and accessible.
it's a strategy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Coming away with mending books was absolutely nuts. I had access to experience, I had access to ender pearls, I had access to an enchanting setup. I was basically doing really, really good. But mending was something that I couldn't get yet because I didn't have any access to villagers. And Mongo just helped me out with that. Not only that, he also gave me moss, which I used to make the hideout look a little prettier. All in all, I feel pretty set up. And this early death turned out to be absolutely worth it in the long run. But I'm in a tricky spot now. We have Campfire Crew, I have my alliance with Tanisha and Legundo, and everything feels awesome. But now Mongo told me that Tanisha may be a killer, and that's scary. As for Lagundo, I honestly have no idea where he's at. I want to trust him, I really do, because Team L, Campfire Crew, we're basically double allied at this point. But I just don't know. One life, one chance, 2 allies, not sure I trust either one of them. I feel like Deceit is just beginning, and it can really go any way from here. Whatever happens, I have my own safe space, and I have a feeling that I'm gonna need it, because Deceit is starting to heat up.